Hi, welcome back to ELA in 8. Today I'm going to give you all things central idea in 8 minutes or less. First thing you need to know about the central idea of a text is the definition. The definition that I most like to use for central idea is that it is the point that the author wants you to remember the most. That means that whatever text that you're going to read can be boiled down essentially to one sentence. What point was the author trying to get across? So, how do we figure that out? Well, I have two strategies that I like to use. They're essentially the same thing, it's just, I guess, worded differently. So the first strategy that I like to use is called the who-what strategy. Who is the text about? What about them? If you can answer those two questions and then put them together in one sentence, you have your central idea. So let's say that you are reading an article about potatoes. It's a passage about potatoes. Spoiler alert, it's gonna happen later. So you're reading this passage about potatoes and you're like, who is it about? Who? Well, it's not about a person, it's about potatoes. That's fine. Basically, when I'm asking you who is it about, I'm asking you for the subject of the text. Strategy 2 is whenever I ask you to answer a different set of two questions. So, what is the topic of the article? What point is the author trying to make about that topic? What do they want you to know? That's it. Again, if you can answer those two questions, both times it's just two questions. If you can answer those two questions and then put them together in a sentence, you've got your central idea. Something else that is super, super important is that you are specific in your central idea, especially if you are writing your own. One thing that I don't teach in my classroom, but I do want to acknowledge that some people teach in their classrooms, is that you can find the central idea of a text in either the first or the last sentence of the passage. When you're taking a standardized test or any other kind of test that you might have in the classroom, that might be the case sometimes, that you can find it in the first or last sentence. Sometimes it's not going to be the case. And what is almost always going to be the case is that the test makers will have put the first and or the last sentence of the text as an answer choice, even if that's not the correct answer. So in my classroom, I like to focus more on implied main idea. Implied main idea means that it doesn't say in the text what the main idea is, but based on what you've read in the text, you can figure out what the main idea is. The final point that I want to drive home before we practice is that this is so important. Like, it's so important. If you are writing a central idea, or even if you're choosing one from a list, like on a multiple choice test, whoever comes across that central idea should know exactly what your article is about, whatever your piece of text is, anything. They should be able to tell exactly what it's about just based on your sentence. So what I want to do is I want to practice with you. So in the description of this video, there is a link to a Google document that you should just be able to click on and it is going to open right up. What I want you to do is I want you to pause me, not yet, because you need to know the rest of the instructions. You're going to pause me, you're going to read all of the text, and there is one question at the end that is asking you to figure out what the central idea of the passage is. If you remember from earlier, I'm already telling you it's about potatoes. So read that and then figure out what you think the answer is going to be. And then once you think you have your answer, then I want you to click play back on the video and we'll check your answer. So good luck. All right, so I hope you learned so much about potatoes. Let's go ahead and take a second and look at the answer choices. Answer choice A, potatoes from Ireland started the potato revolution. B, the average American eats 50 pounds of potatoes. C, French fries are made from potatoes. D, potatoes are a key vegetable in America. E, the various terms for potato have a long history. We already know that the topic of this is potatoes, right? But what we need to know is which one of these is the correct main idea. And all of them do reference potatoes, but only one of them gives the overall point that the author is trying to make about the passage. And that one is, drum roll please, D. Okay, so let's talk about why. First off, answer choice A, the potato revolution, never even talks about that. Answer choice B is wrong for a couple of reasons. So first off, it says that the average American eats 50 pounds of potatoes a year, but in the text it said the average American eats 100 pounds of potatoes every year. Even if that number had been correct in the answer choice, it still would have been wrong, because this, my friends, is what we call a supporting detail. Answer choice C is wrong. First of all, we know that, okay? I'm pretty sure that almost everybody, probably everybody, reading the passage knows that potatoes are what French fries are made out of, okay? That's not what the entire passage is about. Final answer choice E, while the text does talk about some terms that potatoes go by other than potatoes, we never really get their history, and that's definitely not what the whole passage is about. That leaves us with the only possible answer choice, which was D. Potatoes are a key vegetable in America. Everything in that passage tells us that potatoes are a key vegetable in America. Your central idea should pretty much always just be one concise sentence that tells you who and what the text is about, or it tells you the topic of the text and what the author most wants you to remember about that topic. So that was Central Idea in 8 minutes or less. I hope that helped you out. If you have any suggestions for future lessons, please leave them down here in the comments, and I will be happy to look into making some of those videos. I've got a long list of videos that I plan on making, but if it's not on there, I will definitely squeeze it in. Thanks for watching. Bye.